Hello everybody and welcome back to On Point HQ. And regular viewers would have noticed that in the latter half of last year there wasn't much bolt action content on the channel, and that was because I lost my enthusiasm. I completely lost my bolt action mojo. And given how much I've painted and played bolt action over the past sort of 3 or 4 years, and what a staple it's been on the channel, it's a bit of a shame. So I have decided to start the year with a new bolt action project. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to be part 1 of a series of sort of bolt action blog, if you can call it that. Just outlining the project from start to finish. Hopefully it will show you how I go about building a project, but also it will keep me inspired and stop me from losing my painting enthusiasm with all things bolt action again. Because if you follow me on social media, I've been working on many other different things, and I kept wanting to go back to bolt action and World War II, because it's something, it's been a big part of my hobby and also the channel. But I am back with some bolt action on the channel. So in this first part of the blog, is it a vlog? It could be a vlog even. I'm not quite down with the terminology, but I'm going to call it a blog anyway. Outline what the project is, what I've done so far. Not a lot completed so far, but I'm going to show you what I've done. A bit of progression, a bit of kit bashing that I've done as well. So what am I doing? I had 2 ideas knocking around my head when I decided I wanted to get back into bolt action. The first was potentially doing a fully kit bashed Ardennes Battle of the Bulge German force. But then I realised I've painted masses and masses of Germans for bolt action, so I thought, no, I'll do something different. Now I was looking through this. Now this is the D-Day US book by Warlord. And there's some really cracking theatre selectors in this book. And the one I chose, after going through, I threw around a couple of ideas, but the one that I went for was the late war US Mechanised Tank Destroyer Platoon, because there's so much scope for creativity in this list. More vehicles and infantry, sort of. Well, there's infantry, but it's more vehicles, sort of tank heavy centric, and that really appealed to me. So I sat down and I built myself a 1004 points, and then I ordered it. So there should be a picture on the screen now of the results of my shopping. So I went out and I bought everything in one go. So I've got everything in one place. It's all there. I've got all my bits and pieces already that I can use for kit bashing. But the list, let's talk about the list first. So it's, like I say, it's 1004 points. It's comprised of 3 M10 tank destroyers, 1 is a command vehicle. I've got a first lieutenant as a HQ section. I've got a regular 10-man infantry section, 2 bazooka teams, and everyone's being transported in a 2.5-ton truck. This list, everyone needs, all the other ground pounders need to be transported, and a 2.5-ton truck has a capacity of 18, so everyone's got a place on the truck. And this will be my first ever Rubicon kit, so I'm really looking forward to that. My buddy Dom from the Plastic Crap podcast, he, by his own admission, Rubicon kits aren't his best friends, but I've never built one before, so that's what I want to do. Right. Now we've got that scene set, let's move on to what we've done so far. So I'll see you in a little bit. And welcome back. So it's actually on to some figures that I've painted. So I've only finished 2 infantry so far. Not a great progression, but I've been using a completely brand new painting technique on these. So I'm going to show you them first. So this is the first lieutenant and his assistant. You can see him there. There we go. So just the 2 so far. I've not painted the rims of the base yet. I've not decided what colour to go for them. But these are great figures to work with. As you'll notice, the lieutenant on the right, actually it's lieutenant, he's American. Lieutenant on the right, kit bashed slightly, so the arms are from the US Airborne section, and his assistant is just fully from the US infantry box. Now I mentioned a new painting technique. Now anyone that knows me, and I've seen, you know, I've talked about how I paint in the past, I rely heavily on washes. Oodles of washes, masses of washes. I drown figures in Agrax Earthshade. I haven't with these. I was a bit more judicious with the wash, and I used it carefully in all the folds and the creases. So it's a Agrax Earthshade and a Athonian Camo shade on these chaps. And then I was just very careful building up the highlights. Because there's only 16 sort of infantry based figures in this list, I'm going to really take my time over these. So these two took me the best part of a day to paint, which isn't like me. I can normally fly through bolt action infantry for 5 at a time. But they are a bit different to what I'd normally paint. I've actually tried to paint faces this time as well. I lost my face painting skill many years ago. When I was into 40k, I used to be able to paint quite good faces. And it's something I've struggled with over the years. But they were the first two. I just wanted to get the infantry uniform sorted, and blimey, I was mentioning this to a few people that I know. Researching late war US uniforms, a bit of a minefield. I was thrown in all kinds of directions, but I finally settled on this. I'll very quickly just run through the paints that I've used to paint these guys. So the tunic and the gaiters are Vallejo khaki. The trousers are Vallejo US dark green. The helmet is Vallejo US olive drab, and the webbing, the straps, the pouches, etc., they are Vallejo yellow. Yellow, bear me 2 seconds. Yellow olive. I thought it was dark. I thought it was something else, but it's yellow olive. And the washes are Agrax Earthshade and Athonian Camo shade. And for the flesh, I've actually returned to an old favourite of mine. For many years I've used Vallejo flat flesh, but I've gone back to using Cadian flesh tone. Layered on in sort of many watered down coats gives a really good effect with that. So that is that's the infantry section, or the HQ section of the project sorted. So what I'm going to do now is show you the first M10 that I've been working on, the first M10 tank destroyer. Bit of work into this, not finished, so you'll see it sort of as a work in progress, but I've done a little bit of kit bashing on it. So I'll see you all in the next part. Hello and welcome back to the third part of this blog. So this is my first M10. Like I say, it's a bit of a work in progress at the moment. I need to paint the stowage. That'll be coming up in part 2 of the blog. But what I want to mention is the crew. As you'll see, they're looking safely ensconced in their turret there. But these aren't the original crew. No. Because this M10 comes with this crew. I don't know if any of you are familiar with this crew, but they're rather small compared to bolt action figures, the scale of bolt action figures. These are really quite tiny, and I wasn't keen on using these on my M10. As you can see, they're quite small in comparison. The poses don't really, grab me. So what did I do? I kit bashed my own. So what I did is I got a couple of spare torsos from the US infantry box, chopped the legs off, found some sort of generic posing arms, as I like to call them, so making it look as if they're doing something in the turret of the tank destroyer. So when they were put together, they look something like this. So this is them on the screen now. As you can see, they're a bit bigger than the ones that actually come with the kit. Now the trade-off with this is that I would only be able to get 2 in the turret. I wouldn't be able to get 3 as I would with the smaller crew. I was happy with that. So what I did after I built them, I painted them, and here they are all fully painted. As you can see, the uniforms are correct. I think these guys were wearing more of Well, they weren't wearing webbing for a start, but details. They're in a turret, no one's going to see it. that's my opinion anyway. But I'm really happy with how these turned out. As you can see, let's just see if we can have a look in there. So there they are, actually in the turret. And I actually think these work so much better than the smaller ones that came with the actual tank, the actual tank destroyer. You know, just a very simple kit bash. It was just chopping a figure in two and adding a couple of arms, and you've really brought that model to life with that crew. As you can see, I can only fit 2 in there, but I'm happy with that trade-off. As you can see, it's quite a nice kit to put together. I need to fix one of the tracks that I screwed the track up on that. I'm going to hide that with some mud later on in the process. As you can see, so it's been painted. The decals are on there. It's been mostly weathered. I've used quite a few weathering pigments on there to give it that sort of dusty, lived-in look. And having looked through quite a few reference photographs, I saw the M10s were festooned with stowage. So I found some. They're going to be water cans. I've got some rucksacks there, a pack, and some helmets. I've also added the heavy machine gun and the aerial. So they're going to be painted separately. I always paint my stowage separately with these, and then do the weathering separate as well. But there we go. That's the first M10 in progress. Very happy with it, especially the crew. Like I say, that was the main reason for doing the blog, to show you the small bits and pieces I'm going to do to change this. I mean, I could have just built them straight out of the box, but I'm going to do a few different things with them. But there we go. So that's the first lieutenant and the M10 in progress. Just one more look at that crew. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, so that is the end of the first part of this bolt action hobby blog. Up next, what's my plans for next? So I'm going to get this M10 finished. I want to get all the stowage painted, and a bit more weathering. Then I'm going to base it. I know basing is very much a personal preference. Anyone that knows me knows I love my basing my vehicles. Up next, for the infantry wise, you can see because they're primed, is the first of the bazooka teams. There we go. I can take 2 bazooka teams in this list, and I love me some bazookas. The way I'm painting it as well, it's worked out quite well. So for every vehicle I've got, I paint 4 infantry. So I've got 4 vehicles, 16 infantry. It's going to work out quite well. And again, hopefully it'll keep me enthused enough to get the project finished. So before I go, let's just have one more look at the M10. With this list, you have to take the same tank destroyer throughout the platoon. So you can either take Hellcats or M10s. I was tempted to do Hellcats because I really enjoyed painting the one for my US Airborne. But in the end, I went for the M10 because they're so iconic looking. I just like them. I just really like the M10. It's a very nice vehicle. Okay, Steve, that's enough waffling. Right, thank you for watching. Like I said, I'm really glad to be painting bolt action again. It's been sadly lacking off the channel for a while. I know a couple of people have asked me when will I be doing more bolt action painting. I'm doing it, so I'm hopefully going to be getting these videos out as often as I can. So as soon as I work on something, I may do a short video, I may do a longer form video. Like I said, the main purpose is to show you how I go about doing my projects, but also as a bit of inspiration to keep me enthused and on the right path of painting bolt action. Well, thanks for watching. If you've got any comments or questions about bolt action or gaming in general, just leave them down below and I'll certainly respond to all comments and questions. But as always, thanks for watching. Do take care, may dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. So, bye bye for now.